What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. What a glorious day. Glorious day. Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. My name is Mike Diak. I'm a licensed master plumber and HVAC technician in the state of New York, South Carolina, and Florida. Today, this morning, I'm heading on a service call into Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn is one of the 5 boroughs of the city of New York. We have a new client who booked an appointment through my website, pipedoc.net. To my understanding, he needs some special service. He's got a gas-fired steam system that is keeping him up all night. Let's go see what's going on, and let's turn his frown upside down.
So the contractor told me he changed this thing.
Okay, so he changed it, right? And this is the end of the steam main.
Right.
And if you notice on the piping on top of your boiler, you have one pipe that comes out, and then it goes to one giant pipe, 2-inch pipe, and then it continues and it goes to a smaller pipe. So technically you have 2 steam mains, right? And this is the end of one. Now that silver thing right there is called a main air valve.
Right.
Its job is to let out air. Because when the system is off, there's no steam in the pipes, there's no water, it's just air. So if you don't have these, it's not going to be able to push the air out. The problem here is either one of 2 things. You have too much pressure in the system and that's probably contributing to the banging sounds you were hearing, which maybe we'll find out shortly. And if you have too much pressure, these steam air valves, right, similar to the ones on the radiators, aren't designed to hold back pressure like this. And what's happening here is you can actually see the water vapor on the metal studs above because the steam is coming out. So not only you have to deal with the pressure here, but I know your contractors put this in. This is not the proper way to install it.
I see.
Okay, that steam main, that silver-looking little missile, whatever, needs to be up at least 6 to 8 inches off the bottom of the steam main.
I see.
And to accomplish that, you would have to put like a little elbow there, come across and probably squeeze up in there inside this wall. Now, you see how it's intensifying right now?
Yeah.
I wonder if the boiler kicked back on.
So you usually hear...
And it didn't turn back on. So where's all that pressure coming from? You have a high pressure here.
Yeah?
Right? Yeah.
So
let's see if we could see. All right, so that pressure looks like it's reading 0. And our pressure troll is, I can't tell, but it looks like it's set high.
Here, I'm about to pull it up for you right now.
Here we go. I'm just focusing a little bit better. Maybe. All right, because we're working with a pressure issue, we are going to remove the pressure troll from the system. Now that the wiring is disconnected from the 2 terminals, I'm going to try to spin off the pressure troll off the pigtail and see if that pigtail is clogged. Obviously the power is off right now. And it would be nice if this pigtail was a little bit further off the boiler, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Okay, so looking at our settings, we're a little under 2 and 1.5 on the differential. I'm okay with that for a subtractive thermostat. Let me get a pair of pliers and take that pigtail out. And I'm just gonna throw a glove over that opening. If there's any water in there, it's gonna want to drip on top of the lower to cut off, and I don't want to short out the lower to cut off. So let's see what happens here. Oh, let's see. Not terrible. All right, momentary loss of sanity. A little under 2. and 0.5 on the differential. All right, repositioned the orientation of the pressure control so now you can see it. Lowered that to 0.5 on the differential and slightly under 2 on the main. And let's fire up. All right, we still got that noise there. This air valve, well, let's just say it's time for it to go. I guess sometimes the old saying is right. You get, you pay for. Even looks like there's like a rubber. What did they put on there? That's black plastic. Black putty, maybe? And this was new, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
You have a picture of what was there before?
No, I don't.
And how long ago did you put this in, replace it?
Month and a half.
Really?
Yeah. You think he didn't even change it?
It's $1 million question. That's a question for God right there, actually. I wanted to come up with a 45 right there, with another 45 in the nipple between the two, but I was hitting the framing, so we got it instead with a short, close nipple, 3/4 90, 3/4 nipple, another 3/4 90, and then went up with a 6-inch, adding a coupling, and then there's my my steam main all the way up there, almost touching the subframing, the subfloor. Perfect. Let's turn it back on. Pushing it out. Some air. All right, just drain some of the water out of the boiler. Our low water cutoff, low water indicator light is on. I'm gonna wait for that to fill up the automatic feeder, the VXT 24, which is reading 0. And now it's feeding. How often do you drain the boiler? Or how often do you test the low water cutoff?
The last time I drained the boiler?
Or tested the low water cutoff?
I don't know what that is.
Well, your low water cutoff is the device that senses the low water condition. And that should be tested on a monthly basis by removing some water from the boiler. And unfortunately, because of the position of the low water cutoff, kind of like the pressure control was positioned, you really can't see anything with it. Because the indicator light, which is on that box right here, that's covered with dust, is on the side facing the wall. So the reason you should be draining some of the water of the boiler once a month for 2 reasons. Number 1, you want to make sure the low water cutoff is functional, right? And by testing that, you'll prove that it is or isn't. And number 2, you'll keep the water clean. You know, boiling water. You know, water will boil at 212 degrees if it's clean with no impurities. When you have filthy water that's just saturated with metal shavings and scale and just rust and debris coming from 100-year-old steam main piping and radiators, you know, water's not going to boil at 212 degrees. It's going to require more money, which is more energy and more flame to heat that water to create steam. So you're actually putting money in your pocket by flushing or I want to say flushing, by removing some of the water from the boiler on a monthly basis.
So that's the reason why I asked you.
Yeah, that's why we're testing it. That's why I drained some water from the boiler. The light came on the low water cutoff. Now, granted, I could use a mirror or my phone to look, see if that light is on. And you'll have the video because you'll see this one, right? And watching the automatic feeder, which was at 0 gallons and now it's at 2. and we're gonna wait and see what that stops at.
Okay. So that's the reason why I asked you. The contractor said, "Oh, this thing's not working." That's what he tells me. So he goes. So when the cranking started, he's like, "Oh, let's drain this," and then he started adding water from there, not from the pressure.
The valve on top.
Right,
Yes.
right.
This is the bypass valve, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is a valve that'll isolate that feeder like that.
Gotcha.
And you know, I'm not a fan of feeders because
Me too.
okay. You should be knowledgeable enough and know your system well enough to know how much water this boiler is taking.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see something out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Uh-huh.
If you're adding water once a month when you're doing maintenance on the boiler yourself, you're golden.
Yeah.
When you start to see an uptick of that, where you come home one night, you get a phone call from your wife, "Hey, honey, there's no heat in the house," and you tell her there's any water in the boiler, she has no idea what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
But you come home and you notice there's not enough water in there because this is isolated or not there, for example, and you add water. And if that's more frequently than once a month, you know you're developing a problem, like the air valve that was in the front closet inside that wall that was, you know, hissing continuously. Even when we resolved the high pressure issue. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the video and the service call. I hope you learned something out of this. And if anything, if you have that little silver thing at the end of your steam man in your basement that's continuously hissing steam, it's no bueno. You gotta change it. More than likely. After you make sure the pressure is good, pigtail is clean, and you don't have a pressure issue. Thank you so much for watching. If you're in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area and you got a steam heating system and you need kind of service that we deliver, feel free to email me, mike@pipedoc.net. You can book a service call with me at pipedoc.net. Click the little link to book online. You can even attach pictures of what you have, because chances are I'm going to need to see them before I head out to you. My team would love to service you and your property. Give us a call, 516-348-6300. My main office for New York is based in Woodmere at 1010 Central Avenue. We're right on the border of Long Island and New York City by JFK Airport. Mikey Pipes, signing out. Be well, God bless, stay safe.